And he recorded on over 2,000 recordings made between, I guess, 1930 and 1950. All of the top stars. I guess he was a real good session musician. And all the top stars of the day had Noel on the recordings. There's, I'm sure these fellas that are coming up here are going to fill you in on Noel's reputation, and they're going to play you some of his stuff. They got one of those 3-deck steel guitars that I'm sure they can make it sing.
And welcome so much from all of us to your past. This is the land of innovation. Certainly, Chet Atkins was one of the greatest innovators of our times. In certain ways, he was beyond time. And there was another guy, this guy named Noel Boggs, short little guy from Oklahoma City. I knew him well, because he was my dad. Noel passed into eternity in 1974 after a wonderful, full, and unbelievable career. So when I say that this is the time of your past, it is also a time of innovators. Innovators like the Chet Atkins Appreciation Society that will always remark upon fine music, on things that we've never done before, on all of you players who will push your envelope to heights that you never even imagined, where you will address that passion and it will bring to others a divine inspiration. And so we're going to go back just a little bit in time, and I'm not going to introduce this absolutely remarkable band. Yeah, there's the sound. Until after this first piece, because we're going to visit country music, the very beginnings of 1939, the Bob Wills Texas Playboys. Yeah! Oh! So let's hear it for Steel Guitar Rag. And Bob, take it away. that was pretty close to perfection. That's Doug Jernigan on the steel, playing on the... And Carrie Marks, part of the Yum Yum duet, Carrie Marks, and John Birchfield on guitar. And Wanda Birchfield. Could you hear a better fiddle? I told her earlier, I used to grow up at the Santa Monica Ballroom watching Spade Cooley because my dad was with the Spade Cooley band. And I said, oh my goodness, you fiddle, you bow just like Spade did. It was so wonderful to see. And you've got more ahead of you. And back there, Bob Mader on drums. Mark Birchfield on bass. And tickling those ivories, none other than Catherine Marks. Okay, so now we're in country. Now, from country, the music, Chet Atkins, my dad, Buddy Emmons, Ludlow Bryant, Jimmy Weibel, Christian, oh my goodness, Charlie Christian. They were all standing on a wave that was coming into Nashville, coming into the world, that was adding blues, adding jazz, adding different chord patterns, innovation. So this next one that we're going to play is Birth of the Blues. in 1948, I started working with my dad. I was 4 years old, and he was doing a radio show with Gene Autry, who was a singing cowboy. And so they couldn't find a dog act, I'm sure. So they hired me. And I would wander out on stage in a cute little dress, stand on a fruit stand, and sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And then the best part of all for a 4-year-old was to go out to lunch with her daddy. And my daddy would take me to the Brown Derby Hotel, because it was at the Brown Derby where he did business during the day. He would have Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, all of these wonderful people, Ella Fitzgerald, that I got to meet when I was just a little bitty girl. I later worked as an adult with Frank Sinatra, and we had a lot of fun remembering those days with my dad. The nice thing about this last piece that you just heard was this was the arrangement that my dad created for Nat King Cole. So you heard a little bit of history and a whole lot of music. This next song is called Stealin' Home. It was written by my dad. And Spade Cooley loved to have my dad play this at all times, anytime, day or night. And it's something that I loved immensely. Got a lot of play at the time, but there's one piece in it that is very, very famous, and I'll tell you about it after Doug tickles us with Stealin' Home.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
was about 1946, and there was this really weird guy that was kind of dogging my dad. Looking up, he'd watch him play, and he had been a radio repairman, but he was into musical instruments. And most particularly, he loved the way my dad played the steel guitar. He was fascinated, and he hang out at the Aragon Ballroom, and his name was Leo Fender. He became a close personal friend of my family, of me especially, but my dad in particular, because Leo created and built all of the prototype guitars for my father. They started with the two-neck, and there's a photograph out on the table outside. It has the tunings, my dad's tunings on it. So if you're a steel aficionado, please pick up one of those photographs. I'd love that, because his tunings were a little odd, right, Doug? We laughed about that. When Leo came in and did the pedal guitar, he said, "Noel, this is going to make your life so much easier." And my dad looked at it and he said, "What do you think I am, a tap dancer?" He said, "I don't like that. I don't need to play this. I can do all of that on these same old chords that I've been playing all this time." He got the quad string master, 4 necks. "How many more necks do you have?" I told Daddy, "You're going to have to extend your arms a little bit bigger." But Leo was absolutely a stunning, stunning man. Personally, certainly professionally, an innovator. He was our past, present, and our future. This next song is called Little Coquette, and you'll hear why. It's just kind of sassy. Doug Jernigan is playing a guitar that once was owned by my dad, and it's a triple neck, and he inherited from a lovely man who gave it to him. And Doug actually had to refer quite a bit of it. But there was this third neck, and he kept going, what is this third neck about? The tunings on it were so unique. Yeah.
He was sitting in the case for 15 years, and I said, Isaac, what's he going to do? And I heard Coquette in this next tune, and he played it so well. I said, that's what he's using that tuning for.
Exactly. And yesterday during the music rehearsal, he goes, it was like the great aha moment. He hit that third neck, and he goes, whoa, so that's what this is for. Those are the stories that we have about my dad. You know, when my daughter was born in 1974, it was such a great event. My dad came over and saw her and held her and talked to her. And he passed away 6 months later. She never got to know her grandpa, except today through innovation and YouTube. We Google him, and she now knows her grandfather. And she is the only granddaughter that he had. And I would like to introduce my daughter, the granddaughter of Noel Boggs, Erin Blake. And as a caveat, her two fabulous daughters, Noel's great-granddaughters, Winifred May, known as Winnie, and Gwendolyn Anna. So what do you think, guys? Should we just launch into Lover?
I think I can do it now. I'm just tuning after hearing your dad play it.
Oh, just do it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This last song that we're going to play for you features these fabulous guitarists, John Birchfield and Carrie Marks. And this particular song was Leo's very favorite. It was my dad's very favorite. It was my very favorite. And I welcome you to enjoy every single note of it, because it's given to you with such love from beyond and today. Go forth and enjoy tenderly. If you loved what you heard, go out and make more of it. Address your passions in every single way. Because when you touch music, whether it's listening, creating, or helping someone else along with it,